back to the Meeple Marathon. This is a reboxing video for Arydia, the paths we dare tread. Now, this is not a storage solution video because I'm essentially using the packing instructions from the box. But if you've played through the quick start guide, which is essentially what the state of this game is, you'll realize that there is components that need a place and don't really have a place. So for now, all the rule books and stuff are sitting on top here. But for now, I've just maintained the 3 punch boards. I don't see a way, honestly, of getting all of these components into the box somewhere that makes sense and also makes them easier to find. I have seen people talk about punching this board in particular and going ahead and putting these into those particular characters' spots, because there's one of these, I believe, for each of the characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So you could go ahead, and it won't be as fun for the person who starts a character at a specific path, but all of this stuff can be punched, and that would allow you to remove this. There's a few extra tokens here that I honestly don't know what they are for, but I'm assuming they are path specific. And so yeah, so that's an option. For right now, I'm just keeping them all on that sheet. This one especially, yes, you could pop all these off and put them in 4 separate bags, but it's way easier to figure out what you need when looking through all this stuff. The only thing I'm considering popping out and keeping in a baggie somewhere is the XP, because you're constantly going to be adding and subtracting, moving those in and out. But as far as these tokens here, these are pretty much going to stay put. I'm playing solo, so I don't need the role-playing points one. If I upgrade these and move on to like Endurance 3, I'm gonna pop Endurance 1 right back in there. I've just come to the conclusion that this sheet at least is going to stay right here, meaning that this one probably is also gonna stay right here. Like, I could punch out all of these little things right here, but I don't see the point. They fit nice and flat. Yes, there is a little lid lift to the lid, but it's almost as if you look at the design of the box on the side, there's like this border along the bottom that almost, they came to the conclusion that there was going to be some lid lift. Why they didn't just make the lid bigger, I don't know. But so for now, just keep the, don't punch everything out. I mean, I guess you could, but we'll talk about what some of the other options are here in a second. For right now, everything is back the way you found it. You will notice here that I have popped out here. Technically was, these are a little different. Technically, the money was in here and was tucked in here sideways, but the money kind of fell out. So I have tucked one of the plastic bins, and I took out the dice and put in the armor markers as well. That seemed to make more sense to me. But everything else here is essentially how you opened up the box. And let's look at this. I don't think was here, but this is a good spot for that, in my opinion. It's going to be kept flat and everything else. So let's just move a couple of these things out of the way here. All the path boxes are right here. One thing I'm wondering too is I've already accumulated a lot of cards for my path character. This box is already pretty full. I can fit more cards in, but then I'm not going to be able to fit my die in. So I'm thinking that the die probably is going to end up in this little chest thing, depending on how full this gets. So again, as we play along here, we might have to have multiple videos, but don't throw away these cardboard inserts, because you're going to need these to have everything fit and not be sliding around. So right now, you pull this up, you can see stored in here in this little spot is the 4th token tray box. Now, I have seen people recreate this on a 3D printer so that it's going to stand up to a sturdier test of time. The only real thing that we need to discuss here, because again, everything else is exactly the way it came packed and put back exactly the way the packing instructions are, is that I have utilized this empty space here and this empty space here. Now, caveat, I don't have the small bodies expansion. If you have the small bodies expansion, this space here is going to be filled, and we're going to have to come up with something else. But there's not a whole lot of stuff here. As you can see, there is the Epic Hunt expansion box down there. There will always be some room here. So right now I have these little extra storage cubes, or these extra cubes, tucked in a baggie and just dropped right in there. These are leftover HP, MP, and SP tokens because I'm playing solo. These, I honestly don't know how useful these are going to be. I think some of them for these double-sided ones may be required because you're going to put two together and they'll move together. But I honestly haven't quite figured out what I want to do with these. But since I don't have the small bodies expansion, they fit nicely right down there, along with my just kind of other stuff. My adventure combat token, my squill, the travel tokens, and my party marker here can go in there, as well as I moved the 4 dice out of one of these. It just seems silly that they take up that, and they lay right here. You could like stack your 4 dice right there or something like that and find another spot for these. There is also some room in here, so let's actually take this one because it's the lightest and is not gonna be hard for me to keep in there. So there is some room right here that you could put some stuff like, say, the dice, if you needed to find room for places because you have the small bodies expansion taking up that space. If you have neither of the expansions and you just have the base game, then you have even more room to work with, but you just are gonna kind of have to find some baggies. Like this baggie is what the K was in, and they were in several baggies, so that should give you enough right there. This squirrel token was already in a baggie. These were already in a baggie. They're actually in 2. I just combined them, and these were already in a baggie. So everything is in a baggie. And then below all this, below, if we pull out this, you can probably see it, is another cardboard spacer. Also below all of this here on the right side is a little cardboard spacer. Again, don't throw those away because it helps keep everything at this same level so that when the lid does sit down, it doesn't put pressure on any one thing in particular and bend it. Now, I have seen, and that spacer down there is keeping this small one in place. It's keeping it from sliding around back and forth and you know, making it easy for you to store stuff down here. So this is how I have everything right now. There we go, and you can see it go back in. I have seen someone print or put the files out there for a 3D printed versions of these spacers, but he's actually making more use of them. For example, the spacer that's underneath all of this, it's really only about this thick, I think, because box large 1 is the full height here. It's only about this thick and that deep, but he's put little pockets in it so that you can actually drop some tokens in there, maybe ones that you're not going to need for a while or something like that. He makes use of that small spacer down there, which is mostly empty space. And then this one, you can see even there is, you know, there's going to be space there that you could be storing some things in. So it's a pretty ingenious looking storage, 3D printable storage solution. And obviously you have to have a 3D printer to gain access to this. So I'm going to put a link to that in the video description. Just, you know, it's on Thingiverse. It's free to download, free to tip the person who created it, and you can decide. But anyways, that is how I, so far, after the quick start guide, have gotten everything in. Again, there's a very good chance here that I will take this punch board and put all of this stuff into the actual path trays, path sheets, or whatever, with dual layer cardboard. and that just leaves that much less stuff to create lid lift. But at this point, we're already creating lid lift, so whether you want to go through that effort or not is entirely up to you. But I would not advise punching all this out and then trying to bag it all up. Oops, I left my Meeple out. Also, just for reference, once you put your head on your figure, they do fit back in there with the head on. You don't need to store them in your tuck box. But there we go. The lid is too big for me to put on camera. Camera gets in the way, so this is as far as we're going to go. Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know. Again, as I play along through the game and have punched out more stuff and have more cards, and maybe have to find something to do with my D20 for my character, we might do a follow-up video to see how things are stored further along in the campaign. But for now, this seems to work. Again, this is a beast of a game. You're not going to be storing it up on its end. It's going to stay just like this, so a little lid lift is perfectly fine. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.